Hey, there you are. Come on in. Get comfortable, get that seatbelt on, and let's see where these life lanes take us today. The title of the series is, some of y'all haven't been to church in a long time, and I don't blame you one bit. And this installment is the prologue to the series. And the title of the prologue is, there's a lot of BS in churches today. And there is. Soon as you pull into the driveway, there's a guy at a parking stall down the ways a little bit, flagging you, saying, hey, over here, this is BS. And of course, he's directing you to the best spot in the parking lot. So you gather your things, you get out of the car, you shut the door, and the guy says, hey, I hope it's BS in there for you, which he's wishing you a blessed service, right? So you start walking towards the doors to the church, doors to the building, and there's a greeter there just inside, and they hand you some BS brochure of the service. They used to call it a church bulletin, but some while back, some churches got wise, they got smart, and they realized that if you send church bulletins in the mail, it costs one amount, and if you call it a brochure, you can send them at a cheaper rate. So instead of calling them church bulletins now, they call them brochures. So the brochure of the service, she hands you the BS, or he. So now, you're walking down this foyer, and you either come to these double doors or whatever that lead into the sanctuary, the main auditorium. And as you walk in, you see these several well-dressed people stationed at strategic places throughout. And the one closest to you locks eyes with you, and they wave you in, kind of like the guy in the parking lot did. And they say, hey, over here, this is BS right here. And they direct you to the best seat in the sanctuary. You're sitting there looking through your BS, brochure of the service, right? Then all of a sudden it's time for the BS, the beginning of the service. So the lights dim, and the music starts playing at a level that will rival any rock concert. I don't care who it is. And it's usually accompanied by a really intricate, well-programmed light show that could bring on an epileptic seizure. Some people call it a Holy Ghost experience. But once that's over, a person comes up to the microphone and he beckons everybody to turn around and wish somebody BS. And so you do. 4 or 5 people around you, you say, blessed service to you, blessed Sunday to you, blessed service to you, blessed service to you, blessed Sunday to you. And it's a real good time. And after everybody's BS'd each other for a few minutes there, the guy at the microphone calls for BS, or to be seated, which everybody does. And then it gets serious. The guy gets just a stone serious look on his face. And you know he's not messing around. And he says, at this point, there will be no BS tolerated. That is, being stingy. Which, you know what that means, don't you? Yeah, it's time to pass the old plate. Ching, ching. And he reminds the congregation, dutifully so, with ominous tone, that your tithe, your 10% of your income belongs to God. And if you don't put 10% of your income into the storehouse, then you're ripping God off. And you don't want to do that. Oh, no, that's bad. Real bad. Then he goes on to say, now, that's required. There's no wiggle room there. But when it comes to the offering, you can give as much as you want to give. And remember, the more you give with a generous heart, the more you're going to get back, more so than you could ever hope to contain. A lot of people have figured out that that's BS too. Biblically skewed. Meaning, yes, there is some truth to that, but there's also some context that's missed as well. But we're going to talk about that in a subsequent edition. Now it's time for the Reverend to come up to give the word. And let me tell you something. This guy's a BSer from way back. He's a biblical scholar, right? With a BS degree in a BS subject from a BS school. Meaning that he's got a bachelor's of science in biblical studies from the Bible seminary. And he just gives a message. Whew. Now, what's funny to me is that a lot of times you'll hear people in church say that God is a God of order, and that we need to do things with structure and with order, because that's the way God did it. When he created the earth, he did it in 6 days and rested on the seventh. There's structure to that, and so on and so forth. But some preachers, that kind of goes out the window when they start preaching, because they kind of like the sound of their voice. And they'll keep going and they'll keep going, and all of a sudden you're feeling the BS. You're beyond starved. And now all of a sudden you can't even focus, and all you can think about is BS with BS on the side. Broiled steak with baked potato and sour cream, of course. Well, at some point, the message finally comes to an end, and the preacher wishes everybody BS. That is, be back next Sunday, because that makes God happy. And you want to make God happy, don't you? And now to conclude the prologue of the series, some of y'all haven't been to church in a long time, and I don't blame you one bit. I'd like to leave you with some BS of my own. Bye for now, and see you soon.